This is a first impressions video of Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures, the Wizkids line. This is an unpainted line, and this is actually the first official unpainted line, I believe, since Chainmail Miniatures. I do not count the Gale Force 9, because that is a collector's series. One of the biggest positives is these miniatures are all pre-primed, and let me tell you, that primer is solidly adhered to that miniature. Here's some Cobalts. You'll notice a lot of sharp details on these miniatures. I'm going to be doing a bunch of size comparisons. Here they are with the newer release pre-painted Cobalts. You can see there's the same scale. Here are some Nulls, or Nulls, however you say that. These guys are very big, as you can see, compared to the pre-paint and chainmail version. They're the same scale as previous releases, and will fit in quite nicely. And once again, here is the big guy compared to one of the chainmail miniatures. And here's the new Displacement Beast. It looks pretty chunky and intimidating. You got the big, thick tentacles there that aren't going to break off easily. If you compare it to the old chainmail Displacement Beast, it's definitely a more modern design and looks a little bit more aggressive and more muscular than the old model. Here's a human wizard. As you can see, the second model takes advantage of having both plastic and translucent plastic in the same miniature, which is very interesting. And here's the size comparison between the unpainted and pre-painted versions of this miniature. Here are a couple elf rangers. They could either be wood elves or maybe drow. I'll just take this random generic drow here and just kind of showcase the size. Here's some blink dogs, which I thought this was a very interesting sculpt. As you can see, the second one here is half going through its little teleportation stage, and it's a very interesting effect with the translucent plastic. Here is the Spider 3-pack, which also comes with two interesting textured bases. One of them, of course, is the classic Webbed Corpses base, which is very cool. And now to touch on some of the negative aspects of these miniatures. You can clearly see some seams. Now, I'm not sure if the seam on her face is a seam, or maybe it's supposed to be a scar, I don't know. If you are going to get these miniatures, invest in a set of files as well. Now, here is the human monk. Now, some of you might recognize this miniature from the D&D Dragon Plus magazine article. My monk that I got, her bow staff is a little bit wonky, but it wasn't completely bent like the miniature they showcased. So, quite honestly, you're seeing this very close up. Once this is painted, I believe the little issues with the bow staff that my miniature have will be easily fixed. In general, I think the miniature that I got was much better than the one that they showcased in Dragon Plus, which is a little bit weird, but I'm very happy that my miniature looks this nice. As an experiment, I decided to paint up the Familiars pack. Now, these are very small miniatures, and I took 1 hour to try to do a quick paint job on all three of them. As you can see, they turned out okay. The dragon was very, very tiny, and I might actually add a couple details to him later, maybe try to give him some eyes and some teeth. As you can see, this is a very tiny miniature. Ditto for the little imp. This is probably the smallest miniature I currently own. I wasn't able to pick out any detail in his mouth, but as you can see, it has much more detail overall than the pre-painted versions. And of course, the big fire bat. This was a translucent miniature, and I probably went a little too heavy on the paint. So remember, when you're painting these, if you're doing the translucent stuff, less is more. Use a very little bit of washes and then see how that turns out, because painting these translucents is going to be a little bit different than painting standard plastic. Overall, I want to say these are an amazing value for the money. I mean, $4 per pack, that's MSRP, so if you're getting it from an online retailer, you're probably going to be paying less than that. You will have to break out the file set to deal with some of the seam issues, but the biggest draw for this set is that you get exactly what you see. You can get miniatures of equivalent quality through Wargame stuff, but you'll be buying a lot of those, and you'll be getting multiples that you don't really need for D&D, so this is a great product for that. You can get the exact D&D monsters or NPCs or characters that you need, and frankly, this is an amazing thing for new painters. You don't really have to worry about priming. You don't have to worry about buying an expensive miniature. Buy one of these sets, take it out, and just start painting. It's great. I recommend this set of miniatures, and I'm really looking forward to future releases. And I will also be showcasing some of the other miniatures that I'm going to paint up from this set. If any of you have any thoughts on this line of miniatures, please let me know in the comments. Have a great day, and as always, thank you for watching the video.